Well, hello, Las Vegas. It's Monique Buchanan, the host of the Welcome Home with Monique show. And I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Hey, this is a show where we talk all things real estate, community, just trying to, do our best to make a difference here in our Las Vegas Valley. All right. So before we get started, I want to share something personal with you guys. So I don't know if you know this. You guys know you're my family, but I tell y'all everything. I am a huge supporter of our unions. Why am I such a huge supporter? Well, my father was a member of the culinary union for over 20 years. I grew up and I got to see firsthand what the unions can do for your family. Okay, I know what they did for my family. They provided us health benefits. They stood behind my father when he was wrongfully reprimanded at work. They helped protect his job. And they even got or recovered his wages that he lost while he was off work, right? So they went to battle for him. At 15, 16 years old, I seen that firsthand. We were scared. We were nervous, right? But all those fears went away when my father was able to say these words: I filed a grievance. I said, Dad, what does that mean? Sweetheart, I have the union behind me. I am a union member. So that never, ever left me. I always thought to myself, wow, that was powerful to have that backing. So because of that support, my father was able to retire. He was able to purchase a home because when he did retire, he was given a lump sum. He bought himself a home. 18 years later, my father is still receiving retirement benefits from his union that supported him. All right. So I know firsthand that unions can truly make a difference in people's lives. So joining us today, my co-host Becky Coins, of course, who herself previously served as a union representative for the culinary union. So this topic is not just near and dear to my heart, but also Becky's. And we're super excited to welcome Matt and Johnny from Teamsters Local 14. Honey, my husband is a Teamsters Local 14 member. Just shouts out to Teamsters. Shouts out to all the members of the union. But we're going to go ahead and learn more about what the union does, the benefits they provide, and how they help working families throughout the community. Matt, Johnny, Becky, thank you all for being here. And why don't we start by having each one of you introduce yourselves, or at least Matt and Johnny, and tell our listeners a little bit about what you do with the union, who you are.
Well, thanks, Monique. It's a nice story, and it segues right into what we're going to be jumping into. But my name is Johnny Ortega. I've been with Teamsters Local 14 for 33 years. I currently represent the Clark County School District, Boulder City, North Las Vegas. I service about 1,100 members myself.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. And again, it's an honor to be working with Local 14 and being a member myself for that long a period of time.
Absolutely. Love it. How about you, Matt?
Thanks, Mo. My name is Matt Lundy. I'm the organizing coordinator for Teamsters Local 14 here in Las Vegas. My journey in organized labor started in the mid-'90s. Actually before that, but I went through my first organizing campaign as a non-union worker.
Okay.
At that time, we didn't know what our rights were. We didn't know what to expect from management. We didn't know what was illegal or not.
Right.
And so we muscled our way through it. We lost, right? We didn't really know what we were doing. Fast forward, I moved to Las Vegas in 2000 and got hired in a warehouse. There was a campaign going on. Never made it to an election. Third time around was the charm, right? We got our stuff together and we organized in 2008. And I volunteered a lot of time with the union as an organizer, had the opportunity to work directly for our international in DC. I did that for the last 11 years.
Okay.
And now I'm back home working with Teamsters Local 14.
Nice.
My role in the local union is to help workers exercise their federally protected right to organize, inform their union, fight for better wages, benefits, and working conditions.
It's a great job, Matt.
Thank you.
And you know what's crazy? Even when I had my first job, even, first, second, third, that thing is on the wall that tells you your rights, but nobody hardly reads that, right? So I always would pass it up, and I never really knew what my rights were as a worker, So anyways, Becky, why don't we start with this question? What is the union, you guys? What is the union?
My definition of a union is workers that come together to get their rights put in writing in the form of a contract, a legally binding agreement, also known as a collective bargaining agreement. But it outlines your wages, your benefits, your working conditions. It's a contract that the workers propose the terms of. They help negotiate at the bargaining table, and they vote whether they accept or not.
That's a good answer.
If you think about contracts in our country, if you think about Wall Street, Goldman and Sachs, and the Koch brothers, the wealthy elite, if you will, right? When they do business on a daily business, they won't do it unless it's protected in writing.
That's right.
So why can't the women and men who make those people successful be afforded the same protection?
Absolutely.
Right? And that's what it really comes down to.
Right? I know in real estate, we don't do anything unless it's in writing.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
That's right. So I will say one of the things that being part of a union does is it makes sure that you have better wages and benefits, which actually help my buyers purchase homes.
Right.
And become
Absolutely.
homeowners. Right. So, all right. So we've got what a union pretty much is making sure you're protected, and that's via contract.
Especially in a state like ours, we're a right to work state.
That's right.
Right to work.
Yes. Now, what does that mean, you guys? What does that mean? I remember when I came here, I came from Seattle, Washington, and that was not. So now we come here and they say, oh, it's a right to work state. What does that mean for somebody that's out there listening? What does that actually mean, Johnny? Or whoever.
Go ahead, right?
Sorry.
No.
Just go
I
ahead.
thought you already gave me the wink. A lot of times, right to work and being at will get confused, right? There's a difference between an at will employee and a right to work employee.
Right.
Nevada is a right to work state, which essentially at the end of the day means you do not have to be a union member to enjoy the benefits of the collective bargaining agreement, right? So it's a lot of work for representatives, right, in all the labor organizations to make sure that the members or that the workers understand the importance of being a member. And I'll give you a brief example. When we go into negotiations, the first thing the employer does to demonstrate, to test the strength of the unit is they look at how many members are within that unit. So if you have a group of 100 people and only 30 are members of the union, you do not have a lot of leverage as a worker to negotiate a strong contract.
You don't have the numbers.
Right.
That's
So
right. Numbers matter.
Numbers
are everything.
matter.
Always.
There's strength in numbers.
So,
right?
so what you're saying is that, so you could have the union there, but the majority of the workers may not even be part of the union.
Correct. In a right to work state.
Yeah, look at even with culinary, we're in the casino. We have multiple departments that aren't part of a union. We have the dealers aren't union.
Oh yeah,
right.
There's
Okay, I
lots.
know
Yeah,
that.
so you're in a casino that is.
But that weakens your
dealing.
position. That weakens
It
the
can.
worker's position.
It can.
Absolutely.
It absolutely can.
Power in numbers.
That's right.
Yeah.
And part of our role and part of our job is helping workers understand the leverage that they have when they stand together, because the more members there are, the louder voice they have to accomplish what they're bargaining for at the table.
So I know that even with us being realtors, we are very strong, right? We're not a union, but we are, I guess, a group. I don't, what would we call
Our
it?
membership, yeah.
Yeah, we have a membership. I know we get laws passed when we speak because there's power in numbers, like you said.
When you
we get
organize.
laws. Yeah, when you organize, things happen. They listen to our representatives when they go to D.C. and they say, hey, we want to protect our constituents or our members. They listen because we are a huge group. So
right.
power in numbers, you guys. So if you're working somewhere that has the union, you're telling me that if they're not part of the membership, they can still reap the benefits of the union?
That's correct.
That's correct.
Why would they not want to be part of the membership?
Just lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, thank God we're gonna teach them today.
Right.
These,
So,
you know?
and again, I deal with Clark County School District on a daily basis, and I have about 397 skilled trade members there, and we're only at 50% membership there.
I just don't understand why.
Yeah, and you try to educate those guys every single day and let them understand what the benefits are. Every day I represent them when they get in trouble, so it's just another thing that we do for our members, and they don't understand.
Okay.
They don't get it.
I'm just going to go ahead. Now, my
can
my
ask.
listeners know
Go
me.
ahead.
They know I keep it 100.
Yes,
so
you
I'm going to
do.
have to go ahead
Yes, you
and
do.
be 100 with this. I just recently, I think I know now, it's starting to come to me. I have a friend who is, well, let me just say, I know somebody. Okay. And she was saying that she does not pay. This is what she was talking about. She says she doesn't pay the membership dues, but she reaps the benefits. So why in the world would they reap the benefits if they don't pay the dues? And you said that's just because that's the law?
It's the law.
Okay, well, what do they not get? They can't. I know they don't get to go to Wet and Wild for free like we do, Johnny.
I'll tell you what
Are
they
they
don't
invited
get.
to Wet and Wild?
I'll tell you what they don't understand, in my opinion,
What is
from all
it?
the work that I have done, is again, like he said, misinformation. You think you're getting one over because I'm getting all the protections,
Right.
but what you're doing is you are watering down your power. So you think you have power, but you don't. And over the years, you are eating away at what you have built and what everybody else before you has built that you have, and you are destroying it in real time, and you don't realize it.
Give me layman's terms.
said.
Tell me, okay, let's pretend I don't pay for union. Tell me, what am I going to miss out on?
So if you're not a member of the union, right, you do not have access to the union hall, to the meetings.
Okay.
Right. You cannot vote on shop stewards. You cannot vote on your contract, right, except for the first contract.
So I can't chime in.
You
I
can't
can't
participate,
You don't
right?
have a voice.
You don't
say
have a
what's
voice
important to me. I
within
have
the
no
union.
voice.
Right.
Okay.
And a lot of times, they kind of subscribe to that demonization process about the unions that we spoke about outside, right? But they don't realize that they are the union. They're part of the union. When you're a union member, you're the union. It's not Johnny Ortega, right? It's not anybody at the union hall.
Bottom up.
It's you acting collectively with your coworkers to affect change. And that's what it comes down to. A lot of the mindset for the folks that don't understand that yet is they think the union's a knight on a white horse that rides in and is going to save the day for them, when in actuality it's them having the ability to save themselves.
Okay.
If you don't know your contract, how do you know that they've wronged you?
Right.
If you don't know what your rules and what's expected of you, how do you know that your boss is getting one over on you? How do you know that you're able to fight something? Because a lot of them, and like I said, I know that there's, some overlay between the different unions. They all have their own different rules and how they handle different things. But I know my experience in the casino, a lot of our boss's attitude was just, they would do it first and see what happens. Like, they know they're breaking a rule. They
You're talking
know
about the bosses right now. I want to make sure
right.
everybody understands and
Correct.
follows.
Yes, yes. So the company, the bosses, anything that's going on.
Would test the waters.
Yeah, they'll test the waters in violating your rights or going against your contract to see what you're going to do about it. And if you don't know that that is not what's supposed to happen to you, you don't go ask your questions. You don't vote on these things. You don't know that that's what's supposed to happen. You're not filing your grievances and fighting, so they're getting away with it.
Yep.
And then they get away with it 1 time, 2 times, 10 times. Now you're creating a precedence. You guys let it go.
That's right.
That's a good point.
100%,
That's
yeah.
a good point.
You know what I mean? Like, you guys let this go for the last 2 years. That's the rule that you guys have been following. What do you mean? We've been doing it. Nobody said anything.
Monique Buchanan has served the community for over 10 years, helping homeowners, probate families, first-time buyers with zero-down grants, and investors nationwide, serving all 50 states and 24 countries worldwide. 702-984-3700 at Realtor Monique Buchanan on Instagram. The Monique Buchanan Team. Experience you can trust. And now, back to the Welcome Home Show.
And so if I can add, right,
Absolutely.
because just to kind of jump on what you're saying is when we take a group through the organizing process, the goal is to negotiate a strong contract, right? It's not just to win the election or whatever that recognition process looks like, but the goal, the textbook answer is to negotiate a strong contract. I would argue it goes beyond that. I want to build militant membership that's going to police that contract, right? To your point.
Yeah.
They're going to hold the company accountable, right? Legally, both parties, the union and the workers, the union and the employer, have to abide by the terms in that agreement, right? So I want militant membership that's militant enough, that's active enough to pick up the phone when their brothers and sisters need help,
Right.
to answer that call, to defend their contract, police their contract. It's important in building a stronger union.
And that's part of being in the union, being
Yes,
an
it is.
actual paid member where you're in those meetings and you understand that contract and you know what to look out for. That's really good points, you guys. So let's go on to who are the Teamsters. And honey, if you don't know who the Teamsters are, but who are the Teamsters today?
Well, Teamsters is started back in 1903.
Yeah.
So they've been around a long
A
time.
long time.
People don't realize that these horses that we wear every single day have names, right? It's Thunder and Lightning.
Oh, I love
Where
that.
those names came from, there's 2 unions that came together. And I know Matt, he's amazing with the history on that. And so I'm going to let him turn that over. He can talk about that a little bit more than I can. But, again, me being a 33-year member here in Las Vegas, and working with these organizations here, but Teamsters Local 14, we handle all the truck drivers,
Okay.
warehouse, local governments, stuff like that, like your husband, like you said,
City.
for the city of North Las Vegas. The only one here in this valley that we don't represent is city of Las Vegas and Clark County.
Okay.
We go as far as all the way out to Mesquite, Overton, Caliente. So we have
in a school district.
In Clark County School District as well.
Yeah. So there's no beverage that's delivered in this city unless it's touched by a Teamster, right? So we warehouse it and we deliver it.
That's amazing.
There's not a child that goes to school in Clark County School District that's not delivered to that school safely by a Teamster, right?
That's awesome.
The
So
folks
for my bus drivers out there that's listening.
That's it. The AC units on the schools, right? They're maintained by Teamsters.
Okay.
The schools are cleaned by Teamsters, right? And that's just at CCSD. And like Johnny said, we represent public municipal employees, Boulder City, City of North Las Vegas. We have CCSD. We have a lot of the liquor distribution in town, whether it's soda or alcohol.
Wow.
We represent a lot of different bakeries, some linen companies. Our local has about 5,000 members in Southern Nevada. Wow. And that's 5,000 out of the 20,000 amongst all the Teamster locals in Southern Nevada.
Wow.
So, and real quick, just to give you some bullet points, 1903, we've been around 123 years.
123 years.
And it's not because we don't fight for the membership, right?
You wouldn't be around 123 years if you didn't
right.
do your
That's
job.
You could get voted out just like you get voted in, right?
Wow.
Very
And
true.
that's powerful.
Yep.
And, we have a real strong Teamsters history here in Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
And it's only
Yes,
growing.
ma'am.
So that's really good. So why is it important for workers to have the union? What would you say, Johnny? What makes it important? One thing.
Well, again, we've touched on that numerous times already, but it's their voice and them being the member, right? And again, I mentioned to you earlier that I take care of a lot of people in the government agencies, and they don't understand that they are the union.
Right.
We touched on it several times, and you tried to explain the benefits of being a union member. It's kind of like car insurance. You don't need it until you need it.
Right.
And you get members calling all the time, "Hey, I want to join," and the reason why. They are in
need
trouble.
you now.
They need you.
Yeah, they're in
Whatever.
trouble. Something's happened.
Every CEO in this valley has a contract. Why not the employee?
Absolutely.
Why not them? And you try to make sure that they understand the benefits of being a member for the long haul. Right? It's a career. It's not just a job that you're going to be there for a year or two. This is a career. When
That's good.
when you're a Teamster member, it's a career.
That is a
People-
really good point.
And people take for granted. They don't, in this day and age, please forgive me, my fellow union members that I've worked with for so many years, but we get complacent and lazy.
Yeah.
We really, really do. The things that you have now were, came about from the backs of people since
120
1903.
years.
Hello.
Right.
You have a weekend because of a union.
Right.
You only have to work 8 hours without, anything over that is overtime pay. Thank a union member for that.
Right.
Like, people don't understand. And this goes for our non-union people all around the city. They get to reap those benefits that these unions fought for with these companies.
Right. They put that in place. So
Yeah.
your retirement pension,
Yes.
union. They have training and career growth, union. Supporting families with paid sick leave, sick time, family benefits,
Livable wage.
Livable wage. Like Johnny said, you have a voice at work, when it comes to coming together and speaking up about wages, benefits, and your working conditions. Union. Home ownership opportunities, like I said, union. Safer workplace because of the union. Overtime pay, 40-hour work weeks. Why, Becky?
Thank a union member.
Thank the union. Nobody's trying to hit you over the head. It's been 123 years of them proving that they have your back. Job protection, union, right?
I'll never forget going from, and don't get me wrong, I was raised in a union family. My family on my dad's side, union carpenters, lathers,
Right.
the whole trades on that side. My grandmother, my grandfather, culinary union. So, my family, all union. But when I first started in the casino business, I worked non-union for a long time. Didn't know any better. Job
Right.
was good. I'm making good money.
Yeah, me too.
I thought I was taken care of well.
Well, they didn't have union where we worked. Me and Becky used to work together.
Yeah.
And they didn't have union.
We will leave that part out. They didn't have a union. The union left that one alone because
Yeah.
that one ran it like a union because he kind of, I think, knew better. I think he understood treat your employees well. They'll treat you well. So
Yeah, but guess
they
what?
Kinda,
Let me just stop you real quick because he treated me well. But guess what? 15 years in, I walked away with nothing.
Yes, but
Whereas if I would have stayed at Bally's with the union, and this is my personal
Yes.
story, now that you're bringing that up, it's a sensitive spot. Guys, before I was in the casino business for 15 years, slanging drinks. I was a cocktail waitress, y'all. Anyways, I got hired at Bally's at 21, and I quit Bally's and went over to a different place. I'll just say that. And it was a local spot. The local spot made more money in tips, maybe like $50 more, whatever, maybe 100. And to me, I'm 21. You know, I don't know the benefits. I'm not thinking about it like that.
Yep.
I'm not thinking long term.
Working your way up.
Yeah, that money
I'm not
mattered
thinking
right
retirement.
there.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about my health care.
That's right.
I'm not thinking about how they skipped over that and gave that girl that pit position when it was really mine and I couldn't do anything about it.
Yep.
I wasn't thinking about that. But that was $100,000 change in my income that I got skipped over, and I had nobody to go complain to because I was not union.
That's exactly what.
That.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting at. Like working at that non-union job, which I thought everything was great.
Yeah.
And then things started to deteriorate over time, so things stopped going.
They used to play with our seniority.
Yes,
they would
they
play. One
did.
day we were house, then we
Yep.
were this, then they
Yep.
decided to make us over this. So you guys, it's so important. 15 years of my life, I sat there, was loyal to this company, and I love it. I loved it. But let me tell you, when I walked away with nothing. My dad did the exact same thing in a union. He walked away with a pension. He walked away with a lump sum, and he's still to this day collecting checks from his union.
But to go back to the other stuff too, like I'll never forget the day that I walked in to my union job, brand new, and I'm looking at these girls and the way that they are with their management. You can't do that, and I was like, You can say that to your boss?
You still have a job? You just
what do you
said that?
mean?
Right.
They're empowered.
You can speak up for yourself.
And they were like, you're
Right.
not allowed to do that. Our contract says you can add, you cannot take away. This is my station. I had this. This is what I was like, I at that other job, there's no way
No, there
in the
was no
world
way.
I would have said a word to
She'd
my
have told
boss.
you to hit the door.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you guys talking about? What's this contract? What do you mean?
Right.
And I dove in head first.
So, guys, if you're just tuning in, this is the Monique Buchanan Show, and we talk all things real estate and community. Today, we have Mr. Johnny and Mr. Matt on from the local Teamsters 14 union, and they're just kind of going over everything that, maybe the questions that you guys have about what is a union, what do they do for you, and things like that. So we're just going over all these things, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to them at their website,
Teamsters14.com.
Teamsters14.com. Listen, they're willing to talk, probably willing to come out and talk to your people,
Absolutely,
if you're
absolutely.
interested in bringing the union to your job. So once again, Teamsters14.com.
14.
One more question. Are you guys currently organizing any groups?
Yes, we are currently, actually, we just wrapped up a group that we organized in Henderson, but right now we're working with EMTs and paramedics in the city of Las
Nice,
Vegas and Clark County with a company called AMR.
Oh, good. AMR?
AMR,
Yeah,
American
that's
Medical
huge.
Response and Medic West.
Okay.
People don't understand the hardships that the paramedics and EMTs in our city face.
If you watch that movie on Netflix, you understand it. I just watched that movie. It opened my eyes all the way up about...
Code 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Code 3.
I did the job in 29 years ago, 1997.
Can't you do the job?
And not much has changed.
Oh, wow.
I was making $12.50 an hour, and up here, unfortunately, they're starting these folks $13, $14 an hour.
You're telling me the people that save
Crazy.
people's lives
That's
Yeah.
are
Their
making
lives in their
just
hands.
above minimum wage?
As an EMT and paramedics, average rate is between $25 and $26 an hour. We have members that work in our beverage distribution facilities making well over $30 an hour with a pension and employer-paid health care. These folks are dealing with non-livable wages, obviously.
No.
They're dealing with inadequate health care, inoperable equipment.
No.
And so they're fighting to change those things. Right?
Oh, God
So
bless you guys.
They're coming together. And people, when you see them on the side of the road, you just assume they're part of the fire department and they've got it made and and they're doing well, but they're not.
Yeah.
And for me, the reason it's important is not only did I want to live in a fair and equitable community, but I want to live in a safe community, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And these folks, aside from our school bus drivers that we represent, transport our most valuable cargo.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Those are our mothers, our daughters, our grandchildren in the back of those ambulances in probably the most traumatizing point of that person's life. Right?
Absolutely.
The last thing that I want is my daughter to be in the back of that ambulance and that paramedic or that EMT is in a position where they don't know if they're going to put food on the table that night.
Right.
Or make their rent.
Right.
So the health of our EMS folks directly impacts the health of our community. Right.
Absolutely.
And so this is a social justice campaign.
I love that. I love that.
yeah.
I'm glad that you guys are doing that.
That's right.
If you want more information, you can go onto the website, heroesshouldn'tstruggle.com.
Heroesshouldn'tstruggle.com. That's right. Heroes shouldn't struggle.
Is there anything that the community can do to help out with that?
If you access the website, there's a link. We have a change.org petition on there. We have got a lot of community support. We've got some support from our elected officials. As you know, it's silly season as far as politics goes, so a lot of people are looking for endorsements. And we have some elects that are willing to go on record and support these when the time's right. We also have some reporters that want to do articles and things like that. So we've developed an infrastructure, a lot of love and warmth around these folks. And right now we're just busy out in the street talking. That's where I'm headed after I get off the air, is to go and talk to these workers.
Well, you definitely have my support on that if there's any way I can help as
Appreciate
well.
that.
Mine as well.
Shouldn't struggle.com. I love that. So what if there's other AMTs that are like listening to you, workers that would like to pool together and bring that to them?
Yeah, absolutely. There's another group in town, right? There's only really two providers in town, Medic West and AMR. They're owned by the same parent company. And then there's another locally owned group out there. And if they're listening and they want to reach out, they've already getting the geofence targeted ads on their social media accounts.
So you guys brought a lot of things to us today. I hope you guys will come back on again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, whenever.
Because this was really good. And Becky, thank you for your input. I knew having you on here.
You know how this is partial to my heart.
Yes. Like I said, she used to be a rep. So, and you told the story well because you could not get away with that.
No.
Your whole livelihood would be snatched from you if you tried to speak up for yourself.
That's right.
And that shouldn't be the case, right?
Power in numbers.
Shouldn't be the case.
Power in numbers.
With our international constitution, the standard dues raise 2.5 times your hourly rate, one time a month. So less than a day's worth of work will pay your union dues, right?
But guess
what? In the
what?
private sector.
How many raises do you get? Because I know you guys are always getting my husband another raise, another raise.
Our goal is to
Negotiations. That's what those are for.
So
our goal is to get as much as we can every year.
You're really not paying the dues because they keep getting you raises.
They pay for themselves.
They pay for themselves. But anyways, even with real estate, I tell you guys, look, I'm always looking out for your best interest. I'm not going to get on here and talk about anything I don't believe in. So I'm honestly telling you, I'm not getting paid for anything to say this. But I've been witness to my father and my husband to what the union can do for you. But if you guys have any information, once again, it's local.
It's TeamstersLocal14.com.
There it is.
I'm sorry, it's Teamsters14.com.
I messed you up.
That's all right.
I messed you up.
Sorry, we recovered well.
Say it one more time clearly.
Teamsters14.com.
Teamsters14.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Heroes shouldn't struggle.com. All right. Until we hear from you guys, we love you. Have a blessed weekend.